thank you for joining us here on the Neutral Zone. I am Phil Milani, joined as always by my partner in crime, my esteemed colleague. Really, the best way to describe this person is my everything. He's my everything, okay? It's important to acknowledge that once in a while. It's my everything. It's at Eric Delala.
So I think the worst thing we can do in this world is to not appreciate the people that mean the most to us.
That's true. You can take a little bit of time, this holiday season and just
the season of cheer.
Thank the ones you love.
Yep.
And appreciate. And, it's important to do that.
Yeah. I mean, right now, Phil, it's a blessed time.
It is for Broncos fans.
This team has gone from 1-5 to 7-6. They're in the hunt.
It's true. 6-1, as Russell Wilson likes to say. 6-1 in the last 7.
It's true. Fact check, true.
That's true. You can't really argue with that.
And you might not notice it just watching the Broncos every week. We're dialed into this team.
Locked in.
You keep your blinders on. But you look around the rest of the league, and it's like, man,
it's
the
a little
Broncos,
different story.
Broncos are right up there with any team right now in terms of how they're playing, the record they have.
I'll say this, Eric. I'm just going to go into Hypotheticalville. Okay, you want to go on a journey?
Is that near Whoville?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, That's where the Grinch is. It's important to know that the Grinch does not hate Christmas.
Fact check wrong.
Isn't that where he's living?
He lives above Whoville. He's not allowed to be in Whoville because they hate him.
Oh, I was going to say, the Grinch does not hate Christmas. He just doesn't like other people.
He likes people, yeah.
Yeah, so some people get that mixed up.
You ever heard of a meme?
Yeah.
You know what that is?
I know, a Mimi.
Yeah,
Mimi.
They say when you realize all the Grinch wants is to hang out with his dog and be left alone, he starts to make a lot more sense.
It makes a little more sense. Anyway, I want to go over to Hypotheticalville.
Okay,
that's
Whoville.
one more stop.
Yeah, on the
that's
train.
One more stop, yeah.
What sound does a train make? Choo-choo.
Wee-oo, wee-oo. Oh, that's it. That's the ambulance.
Trains.
That's an ambulance. Sorry.
Put the lights on?
I got it mixed up there. Sorry. One more stop, Eric.
Yeah,
Let's just live in this world for a second.
Okay.
Let's say the Broncos win this week.
Ooh,
okay.
I like that.
Then they play 3 teams that do not have a winning record.
That's true.
So let's just hypothetically say they finish the season on a 5-game winning streak. Okay? That would have meant that they've won 10 out of 11, 5 in a row heading into the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. That's what you want to be. That means that you could do anything.
You can do whatever you want.
That's not a team that's like, oh, how did they just... No, 10 out of 1 means you are legit.
Yeah, you go up to Javonte Williams, who, of course, went to the University of North Carolina.
He's talking too much about
and
that.
Say,
he's talking about
you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you say that first. That's why I got confused, because this week he was like, Sean Payton said I talk about the playoffs too much.
Which I thought was funny.
And then I was like, wait a second, I thought you went to North Carolina.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Well, that's true, Phil. And I think that even as it stands now, this Broncos team, if they can win 3 of the next 4, they're probably going to be in the postseason, which would have been unfathomable a few weeks ago.
I mean, not for us, but for the average.
For the commoners.
Yeah, for the common person.
Yeah. The yeoman among us.
Yes.
But I think it's also important to appreciate what they've already done.
Of course, yeah. But they're not done yet. They're just started.
They're not done yet. But I think at this time, everyone's thinking, okay, well, can we beat the Lions? If we don't beat the Lions, can we do this? Can we do that? What's going to happen? Are the Steelers going to lose?
Yeah.
Enjoy what's happened so far. This is fun.
Yeah,
winning is fun.
That's true.
They're right up there with some of the best teams in the league. I think the Cowboys, Ravens, and Broncos have the best record over the last 7 weeks.
Yes, I believe you're correct with that.
Those are good teams.
Those are good teams, yes. So I'm just saying, I know that's a far ways away, but if you are 10-1 going into the playoffs, I mean, that's not like...
well, 9-2, which is what you would need to be to get in the playoffs. 9-2 is not bad either.
That's still legit, too, yeah. That's true. So
I
think that it's important to remember
when you look at like the schedule page and there's a lot of green W's, that's a good sign.
That is a nice thing, yeah.
Red L's bad.
Yeah.
There are a lot of those. You look at the top, it's just like the red looked like a stoplight maybe.
Yeah, that's true.
Now green. Good.
That's true. So today's Thursday that we're recording. The Broncos are playing in 2 days, Eric. They're playing on a Saturday night.
You got like Saturday Night Fever?
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Live from Detroit. It's Saturday night.
Oh, yeah.
The Broncos are playing.
Nice.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I think Russell Wilson's hosting this week.
He is, yeah. Who's the musical accompaniment?
The musical guest is Alex Singleton.
Oh.
Yeah, he's going to make some noise.
Oh, nice.
See, that's what I'm trying to do. Alex Hamilton's been balling out.
He has.
Yeah. So
Phil, I will say this. While we are appreciative of each other, of what this team has done so far, we also must remember those that
Sean
cannot.
Payton.
Yep. We also must remember those that cannot be with us this holiday season.
Oh, that's true. Ben Swanson.
Like Ben Swanson.
Yeah, he unfortunately will not be joining us.
No.
For the remainder of the season.
The Broncos, of course, they've been winning when Ben Swanson's not here, and they've been losing when Ben Swanson is here. We've seen enough.
We put 2 and 2 together.
The science has proven kind of what happens when Ben Swanson's here, and so we've said, Ben, we care about you. We'll see you next year.
Yes, that is true. We just can't risk it.
He's tried even talking to me in the office, and I don't let him do that.
Please don't
even look at me.
Don't acknowledge.
Don't look at me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
Take your little camera and you get out of my face.
Get out, take your easel and your paints and your clays.
It takes him a while
and
to
go
pack all
home.
that stuff
I said,
up.
go home.
Yeah.
You can't be here. So it's a little bit sad. But
we do what we got to do to win football games.
Yeah, exactly. Like Russ, he said that he was going to be willing to sacrifice being there for the birth of his daughter.
That's right. He said we got games to win.
Yeah, he's like, we got winning to do. What do you think about that?
I like that.
I think you say that, but beforehand, you got to call Sierra and be like, I'm going to say this. It's not true, honey. That's what you got to say. Because you got to go, because what he goes home after the day, and then Sierra's like, I saw your press conference. And you're like, what? And you're like, oh, God.
Yeah. I think it's okay.
You think that's okay to say that?
You want your partner to be
Support
passionate
you.
about their career and
and not your family. That's important.
I think we know that
important.
Russ is very his family means the world to him. He's a very supportive father.
That's true.
Husband.
That is true. He is.
But you also don't want to let your teammates down.
That is true.
And it's also
he's
all
got two families. He's got two families.
It's also all hypothetical.
He's
right?
got football as family, and then also
it's kind of like We're family.
Yeah, exactly. The Neutral Zone's family, NZ Nation family.
Like in a world where, like, if I was having a child tomorrow, that'd be fine. But if it was today, I'd be like, I got to go do the Neutral Zone.
Exactly. Yeah.
We got podcasting to do.
we got listening.
Yeah.
Listens that we got to get.
We got downloads.
Yeah, downloads, not listens, I guess.
Both are important.
Yeah. You do views? No. Listens.
Clicks.
Clicks
Clicks are good.
That's what's important.
So.
Well, it's a big game, Eric. So we'll get into some of the X's and O's. What do the Broncos got to do? What are the keys to victory? What does a game plan look like when the teacher goes up against a student? You know, it's a little wax on, wax off situation. You know, are you ready? You know, can you catch the fly with the chopsticks? That's what's going to be taking place Saturday night.
That's right.
Did you know that?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Somehow.
So we're going to just dive into this a little bit here. Before we get into the matchup more here, Eric, we must say that this is an interactive show.
That's
We're
right.
here for the people.
For the people, by the people.
Really, that is true.
That's true. And Phil, there's a lot of ways to get involved. You can leave an email at neutralzoneshow@gmail.com. You can leave a voicemail at 707-NEUTRAL. I believe we got one.
Oh, yeah, we do have one, huh?
Yeah.
Should we play that on this episode?
I guess we'll see.
Maybe we can.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It's Brock without a K, right?
Yeah, untraditional spelling.
Or without a C?
Non-traditional. No, it's without a K. I think it's a B-R-O-C.
Yeah, I like that.
Brock. Brock.
Yeah.
Brock.
You,
Nice
of course,
that.
are not a New Girl fan.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
But there's one episode where the guy, he's like, she keeps saying Nick without the K. And
Nick?
Just Nick.
Oh, yeah.
And the other character's like, well, how do you think Nick without a K sounds? He's like, Nick. And he's like, what's it sound with the K? Nick.
Wow.
It's funny, I guess.
That's really funny.
We cut that out. But Phil, you leave a voicemail, we'll play it right here on the air.
Brock.
Yeah.
Brock.
See?
Yeah.
You can tell.
That's nice.
Or Phil, you can go to x.com, send us an X, at Eric Delisle with an A, at Phil Milani with a PH, both non-traditional spellings. Or Phil, you can do our favorite route of communication.
Yep.
The postal service.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
USPS.
Oh, not that. Yeah, not that one.
They're working hard.
They're working
right
hard.
now. So
Yeah, rain,
snow,
sunshine,
It doesn't matter.
wind, haze.
Fog, a little fog.
Yeah,
It's
a little
been
fog,
foggy.
possibly.
Yeah.
Cool temperatures.
They needed like Rudolph to lead them in the fog.
That's true.
They'll get the package delivered.
Always.
Yeah.
Or Phil, you can go to the Broncos official YouTube page, find the Neutral Zone, smash the subscribe button, and then leave a comment, and we'll read it right here on the air.
Right now. And I would say, Eric, the people have gotten behind the Ben Swanson movement here.
Good.
I'll just say that. Aaron Weaver, 1886. Who's Ben Swanson? I like that kind of thinking. That's smart thinking. I agree. Who is Ben Swanson? I just thought. At this point, I don't really even remember. J. Prez Bronk. I'm going to start a GoFundMe account to buy a cage for Ben Swanson. A cage.
Yeah.
Barry says Ben Swanson for the win. Yeah, get him out of here.
And, Ben Swanson gone for the wins.
Trezor says keep up the good mojo and keep that pesky Swanson fella out of the studio.
Pesky.
Ernest Pope says it's never perfect, Eric. It's the NFL. And he spelled Eric with an E.
Oh. Well, then I guess you're not perfect.
Ooh.
Ernest? Is that what you said?
Ernest Pope.
Yeah.
581.
Who said it was supposed to be perfect?
I don't know. Maybe you're looking for perfection. Maybe that's something that you said.
Unlikely.
But to counter that, Alex Barrios says Eric Dalala talking that talk. Let's ride. And they spelled Eric properly.
We don't say that.
What?
We don't say that.
Properly?
No, the two
Oh,
word
the last
phrase.
thing? Oh, I say it sometimes just to be funny. Nathan Kelsey just says, keep up the great work, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you very much. Monica says Broncos country representative from Los Angeles showed up just like the team. Mm-hmm. Showed up just like the team. So
you think you show up and show out, or is it important to do both?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
You have to show out. You do have to show out. And then in order to do that, you got to show up.
Yeah, if you don't show up, you can't really show out.
That's true. Darren Tadlock says, I love how the fate of the Broncos depends on if Ben Swanson is on the neutral zone. And it's true.
Our NASA scientists figured it out.
They've been working on it all season long. And a lot of people are like, hey, credit Vance Joseph for the turnaround. And, Sean Payton's got these guys playing tough. And it's Ben Swanson.
Yeah.
But, of course, Sean would never say that because you don't want to show all your cards.
Right.
You can't just be like, oh, yeah.
But we're doing it?
We get into hypotheticals. And
of course.
We do all of this stuff you're not supposed to in a press conference.
Hypotheticalville.
Exactly. Yeah. So thank you very much for all those comments.
Do you think in some ways we're like the citizens of Whoville in terms of how we treat Ben Swanson?
Oh, like we've
like Ben
ostracized.
Yeah, he's kind of like up in his cave.
Yeah. Do you think he's going to come to our houses on Christmas Eve? Steal all the presents?
It's possible. Yeah, he's up there. Instead of like a dog, he's just got a bunch of easels.
Yeah, he's like, just leave me alone. I just want to be with my...
Yeah. He is kind of, when he has that green flannel and the beard.
That is true. He kind of looks, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And his heart is all small and stuff. So
really his whole body.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Certainly comparatively. I'm 1.5 and he's like.
Right. Yeah.
He's like a 2/3.
A big guy, I think.
He is. That is true. Yeah. He rides that sled all the way down the mountain.
That's true.
Yeah. A smaller person might be.
Do you like the animated Grinch or you like the Jim Carrey?
I like both.
Yeah, both.
What do you like?
Hedge.
I think the animated is like sort of classic, and then I thought that Jim did a very nice job.
Yeah.
And I respect the hours of makeup that he had to sit through.
Right. And
I respect that.
Hair.
Yeah, he put in the work.
The Whoville.
What do you like more?
I think I like the Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
It's fun. And it goes a little more in depth on the personality.
You like the backstory,
the
not
origin backstory.
Yeah.
It's kind of
it's a prequel. It's kind of like Grinch Begins.
Right, which if you haven't seen,
have to see that.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that,
you don't really understand.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you don't understand.
Yeah.
So this is experience.
Good.
Thank you.
Good.
And if you don't like any of that nonsense, you'll be joining us right about now, and that's when we jump into the matchup with the Lions, Eric. When student goes up against teacher here. We got Dan Campbell with the Lions, played for Sean Payton, coached with Sean Payton. Now he's going to go up against Sean Payton. This week, Dan was asked, hey, what do you think Sean's going to try and do? And he's like, they're going to try and come here and embarrass us. Then he tore his shirt off and did push-ups in front of everybody. No, he didn't do that.
Do you think I should wear knee pads?
What do you mean? Why?
Because they try to bite your kneecaps.
Oh, he eats kneecaps. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, tape them up.
Also, here's the thing. They don't really say they eat them, right? They just bite them.
Oh, got it. Yeah, I guess that's true. A little different. Yeah,
like you could.
Yeah, exactly.
You could bite something without eating it.
That is true. Of course, during Hard Knocks, he did push-ups and warmed up with the team.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So like he's a very in good shape. You know, like the coaches
very in
bracket,
good shape.
The bracket where you're like who would win in a fight.
Oh yeah,
Dan Campbell's like very high up. He's definitely top 5.
Yeah. Top 5 for sure.
Top 5. So
and he ain't 5.
And he ain't 5.
So that means he's 1 through 4.
That's true. Vrabel. And Campbell. Salah probably has something to say about it.
He's got something to say.
Yeah, he's got something to say. Yeah. So those, I think those are definitely top 3. Mike McDaniel, like he would do whatever it takes to win.
Yeah.
So like you just don't know. You wouldn't know what to. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. A little scary. Of course, Mike McDaniel went to my high school.
That's true. He made it out.
He made it out too. Yeah, me and him. We made it.
Yeah. Yeah, when Dan Campbell was hired, Phil, I was skeptical.
Oh.
Sometimes I think if you're too into the rah-rah
Sean Payton said this week that he likes the passion. He said this is a passionate sport, so you got to have that passion.
But I was like, oh, I don't know if that's going to work out. And then the press conference, everybody loved it, obviously, with the kneecaps and all that. And I was there was a Hard Knocks clip where he's like, we're going to drag them out to sea until they can't stand anymore, and they drown, and then we kill them. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I just didn't know what to think about it. But
it's worked.
It worked.
Yeah.
And guys that play for Dan Campbell clearly love playing for this guy.
Yeah.
He's an emotional, passionate guy.
Yeah.
I think he knows how to push all the right buttons, and it'll be a tough test for this Denver defense, or excuse me, just for this Denver team.
The whole team.
Yeah, to go against the Lions, and it will be exciting to watch kind of Dan Campbell, who he would. In his presser, he was like, our best players didn't play well enough, and I like that, because if we can get them to play well, then the whole team will play well.
Yeah.
It seems like he just knows the right buttons to push, kind of in the same vein that Sean knows as well.
Yeah, Sean said that when you turn on the Lions tape, you see a lot of Dan Campbell. That's what he said.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I'm sure that there's a little extra juice going with on Dan's side. And then probably for Sean, too, just saying, hey, I'm still a master.
Yeah, there's a lot of connections. I think Anzalone, one of their linebackers, played for Sean. Aaron Glenn, Mark Brunell.
Don't say that name around me, please. Yeah, that's a very sore. Okay, let's move on. Yeah, let's move on.
But yeah, I think this is it's a big game for both teams, because the Lions have lost 2 of 3. They're trying to maintain their stranglehold on the NFC North.
They have not won the division since, I believe, 1993.
30 years.
30 years.
Yeah. Wow.
And now they can kind of
see it. It's in their grasp.
It's in their grasp.
But you got to take it.
Yeah, you got to go out and take it.
So they got something to play for. The Broncos, of course, it's not like their playoff hopes are gone if they can't win this game, but certainly I think it's a chance to send a message.
What, there's 6 teams that are 7-6?
6 teams, yes.
That's a lot.
The Broncos do benefit a little bit in that many of those teams play each other in the coming weeks. The Texans have to play the Browns and the Colts. The Colts play the Steelers this weekend. The Bengals will play the Browns and the Steelers. So a lot of these teams are going to beat each other up. The Broncos don't play anybody in that group,
no,
which is helpful. But I think this is just a chance to really, well, one, it would keep you in the division race. It would give you a chance to even earn the 5 or 6 seed rather than kind of sneaking in as the 7 seed.
Yep.
It would show that, again, I think prove to these guys that they can beat anybody.
They're good.
I do believe the Broncos are they 4-1 against teams with winning records going in since like week 6?
Since the turnaround?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Chiefs, Bills, I think Minnesota had a winning record at that time. Cleveland.
And the lone loss, of course, was to Houston. So 4-1 since week 7 against teams with winning records. So they've been able to do it. But this would be a big one just in terms of setting the tone. And it's kind of cool, Phil, that the Broncos used this Lions team from last year as an example for who they wanted to be. The Lions started 1-6, turned it around, almost made the playoffs. Broncos are hoping maybe they can do one better and finish the deal.
Get in there. Yeah, exactly. Talking about the NFC North, Eric, as you pointed out, the Broncos have beaten the Vikings.
Yep.
They've beaten the Bears.
Yep.
And they've beaten the Packers, Eric. So one more, and that's a nice, what we call clean sweep.
Clean sweep. But
Eric, the Lions. They've beaten the Chiefs.
No.
Opening weekend.
That's true.
Opening weekend, that was a big win.
Come
they were
from
like,
behind win.
Well, who's this Lions team?
That was when the dropsies started for the Chiefs.
What's happening? Yeah. Get a little case of the drops.
Yeah. Is that the officials' fault too, or no?
Oh, I don't. You said it. I didn't.
I did say it.
You poked the bear a little. Yeah.
Please.
The Chargers. They've beaten the Chargers, Eric, and they've also beaten the Raiders. It kind of makes you think something has got to give.
That Chargers game was, what, like 41-38?
Yeah, wild. That was like also early in the season, right?
No, it was a week the Broncos played the Bills.
Huh?
It was only like a month ago.
Oh, I was thinking of a different Lions game, maybe.
Must have been, because it wasn't that one.
It was a month ago, huh?
I sat in a restaurant in Buffalo, New York.
What day was that? 6? Yeah, your day 6.
Yeah, I was like scratching the marks on the wall.
Eric was here.
Yeah,
they put your picture up in that bar, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Most
legends.
Yeah, most consumed.
Yeah,
by
exactly.
out of towner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or in towner too, just most ever.
Most ever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think in Buffalo they know how to do it.
Oh, that is true. Yeah.
I don't want to disrespect their ability to
blue collar.
Put them back.
Yeah, that's true. So something's got to give. You know, it's a pretty good team, but like you mentioned, they've dropped 2 out of 3.
Yes.
So they're looking to come in and prove something. And Eric, for me, when you look at his Lions, let's start on their offense because they've got like a top 5 offense in my mind. Jared Goff has been playing well. I don't know if you know this, Eric, but Goff, he's already passed for more than 3,000 yards this season. He is the only quarterback in the NFL to have passed for at least 3,000 yards in each of the last 7 seasons.
I did not know that.
That's why you come here.
And it may or may not be true.
No, that is true.
Okay.
That's true. So he's the only quarterback to do that.
Yeah, I think when you look at their offense, Phil, they have a lot of weapons. Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery at running back.
Yes.
2 really good players.
Yes.
Sam Laporta, a rookie tight end who is just tearing up the
6 touchdowns,
stat sheet.
tied for the most among all tight ends.
Very good. Amon-Ra St. Brown.
8th in the league in receiving yards.
Yep, a lot of receptions.
A lot.
Good football player.
Only, 2 last week?
I think 5 over the last 2 games for 90 yards, I believe.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a slump there. That goes back to Dan Campbell saying that best players haven't played well, need to play better. Has confidence.
Name.
Oh, yeah. Very cool name.
Yes, it's a cool name.
I think it has to start, though. You know, you talk about all those weapons. I think it has to start with stopping the run.
Oh, for the Broncos defense.
For the Broncos defense.
Yeah, that's true.
Jahmyr
Gibbs.
Yep.
David Montgomery.
Yep. They are both in the top 10 in terms of scrimmage yards. They know how to score touchdowns. I believe David Montgomery has 10 touchdowns.
Yes, they have 16 combined.
Yeah.
That's a lot of touchdowns.
10, which would mean Gibbs has 6.
Wow.
If you're tracking.
If you did it right.
If I did it right, that's true. But oh no.
You think.
I think he has 10.
Yeah.
When Jared Goff is able to go off play action, very effective. When the pass rush can't get home, very effective. And so I think the Broncos, who, as we know, have been much better on defense during this stretch. They have allowed fewer than 16 points a game. They've been getting after the quarterback. They've been forcing turnovers. The run defense, though, Phil, has still not been perfect, allowing about 120 yards a game, which would rank 21st over the course of the season. That's got to be, I think, the main focus. How do you stop Jahmyr Gibbs? How do you stop David Montgomery? Put them in situations where Jared Goff has to drop back to pass, and you can bring some pressure, because if you look at Goff, where maybe he struggled a little bit is against pressure, against
bit of
the
turnovers.
blitz. Yeah, he's turned the ball over a lot the last few weeks. And so can you put them in positions where they have to drop back and pass, clear passing situations that can't use play action, and get after him, force him to make a few mistakes, give you a chance. That's how you've got to stop this offense. I think if
that's a recipe.
Justin Simmons said this yesterday. If their running game gets going and it's successful, you've got no chance.
Yeah, because it just opens up so much else for what they want to do. And I think that the hard part is that they've got weapons that can beat you on so many different levels. You know, St. Brown can go deep. Laporta gives you the intermediate, and then the two running backs can do all the stuff near the line. So you got to be good on every level, Eric. And so I think it does start with the running game. You shut that down, and then now you're talking about a Broncos kind of game where you're getting the pass rush going. They had 6 different players have a sack last week. 6, Eric.
6.
It's hard to prepare as an offensive line when you don't know where it's coming from. Do you know what I mean? It's not like it's just Baron Browning, which we'll hear from him in just a little
bit. On this podcast?
A little bit of a
wow.
We slid that under the radar. Yeah.
Sneaky.
It's not just Jonathan Coop. I am Coop. It's all these guys. Josie Jewell's coming. Alex Singleton's coming. PJ Locke's coming. Jaquan McMillan is coming. It's hard to prepare for that. So I think that if you shut down that run or say on the offensive side, you get an early lead, force them into some passing downs, some 3rd and longs, that's when this Broncos defense can eat, as the kids say.
Eat.
Feast, really.
Yeah. Well, and I think it allows Vance Joseph to be creative when you've got a lead, when you put them in passing situations. There was that one snap against the Chargers where the Broncos had one guy in the middle of the field, and then it was 3 stand-up edge rushers on either side of the line of scrimmage, nobody between, just that one guy between the tackles, and you know they can't run it because it's 3rd and 2 long. And if you're an offensive line, you're like, okay, well, who's going where? What's happening? Who do we block?
Chaos.
And Broncos
Madness.
come up with a big pass rush in that situation. So, can the Broncos confuse the lines a little bit, get some pressure on Jared Goff, force him to make some mistakes? That'll be the key and really kind of dictate what they want to do. I think Alex Singleton said that Monday where, hey, over the first few weeks, other teams were deciding how they were going to play, and the Broncos had to respond. And then they said, enough of that. We're going to do what we do, force offenses to play our way.
I like that.
And even, Phil, in what feels like a high-scoring, quote-unquote, game that the Broncos have had over this last stretch, I would look at the Bills and the Texans as games that feel like maybe there were more points scored. It was a little more, there were big plays that the defense allowed. Those teams still scored 22 points.
Oh, yeah.
And so this defense has had some success. I think you've got to make this a game where it's in the teens or it's in the low 20s. I don't want to get in a game with them where it's 35-31, that sort of situation. No. And I think this Denver defense has shown it's good enough to do that and keep offenses bottled up, even if they've got a lot of weapons.
Yeah. I agree with you. You know what I like, Eric? I like it when, like Josie comes up to the line and it looks like he's coming, then he drops off, and you're like, what's happening? I like those ones.
And then McMillan's coming.
Oh, and then it's from the other side, boom, or Locke is boom. I like those ones, Eric.
Yeah.
And I think that this Broncos defense, I think, is capable of doing that again this week. And, I like I mentioned, maybe an early lead from the Broncos offense. I think if they go out and play efficient football again, that seems to me to be like how they like to do it. Keep things nice and tidy near the line of scrimmage. Get Javonte going, get Mims going a little, get some of those flip outs going, and then all of a sudden, boom, maybe something's open down the field. So I do think that trying to get Jerry Jeudy more involved, continuing to make that a focus. They're going to need Jeudy down the stretch here, and so if they can build his confidence up, I think that would help. And then, of course, what quarter do you want the crazy Sutton touchdown? When do you think they should do that?
Maybe first quarter.
First quarter, I think, could be nice. Just go out there, throw a bomb up, a one-handed, touchdown. I think in the first would be nice.
Yeah, maybe he could start maybe he spins around, catches it.
Maybe he doesn't catch it with any hands, just like with his chin.
Yeah, handstand, catches it with his feet.
Ooh,
2 hands down. That's same as 2 feet.
Hands, yeah, 10 fingers down.
You talk about getting an early lead, Phil. This Lions team has fallen behind early quite a bit here recently.
Thanksgiving Day, I woke up, got a little pumpkin pie, maybe sneak a slice.
Yep.
Turn on the old ball game. Packers were up, way up.
Yeah,
I
way
was
up.
like, what's going on?
Yeah, the Bears a couple weeks ago were up. The Lions ended up coming back and winning that one. Then it happened again. Lions not able to come back this past week. So they've struggled a little bit to start the game. The Broncos, meanwhile, have had a very good record when they're able to have that lead after the first quarter. I think there's something like 6-2, 6-3 when they have that opening quarter lead and they're able to start fast. And then the Broncos' struggles this year, Phil, offensively has been that third quarter, right? The opening drive. The Lions are not very good either in that situation offensively. And so,
that's right, coming out of the half.
that kind of a, hey, can one of these teams, can the Broncos get it together this week and take advantage of the Lions' struggles? Can they get that early lead? Certainly the history over the last few weeks suggests it's possible for Denver to have an advantage there. And then offensively, Phil, this is a defense that has really struggled for the Lions over recently. The last few weeks. Since week 10, they're in the bottom 3 in the league in points allowed, yards allowed,
they
sacks.
Don't take the ball away a lot. They don't get a lot of pressure on the quarterback. Aiden Hutchinson is a very talented player, a top pick from a couple of years ago out of Michigan, hometown kid. He's more than capable of doing it, but that production over the last couple of weeks here has not been there for this whole defense.
Right. Yeah, and I think the Broncos, certainly the Lions are missing some guys, McNeil on the defensive line.
Some dudes.
C.J. Gardner-Johnson has not played kind of in that back end. I think Sean Payton specifically pointed out that they're playing a rookie there in his place. And so, the Broncos, I think, should be able to find some success moving the ball.
Some matchups, some matchup issues.
Right. I do think it's still going to be crucial, which the Broncos did not do a great job of against Houston, and then got back to it against the Chargers, of even if there are some advantages down the field, I think you've still got to control time of possession. You've still got to run the football, set up play action.
Give Javonte, let him do that. Eaton.
Let him eat as well. Cook.
Everybody's got to eat and cook and just have a nice meal.
Yeah. I think that still has to be your identity. And then, there are times where you can take advantage down the field of, hey, here's a throw to Cortland, here's a throw to Marvin, here's a throw to Jerry. Get those chunk plays. Here's a throw to Lucas Kroll.
Who?
Lucas Kroll.
Oh, yeah.
35-yard reception. Very nice.
That was nice.
But stay true to who you are. And, I think that the Broncos, if they can win the time of possession battle, win the turnover battle here, they should be in really good position, I think, to get a big win.
They would be a big win, Eric. And the Lions are the final team on the schedule with a winning record. So this is a big one. It's a prime time. It's the third road game in a row for the Broncos. I think that would show some toughness if they just went out to Detroit, to the Motor City, and then they just drank some motor oil beforehand and let the machine
turn on the coffee machine, grounds just start
fire it up. Yeah, and
that would be nice.
You're in prime time. Kevin Harlan's calling the game?
Yes, he is.
You want some of those crazy calls? Oh!
There he goes.
You need some of those, and that'd be a nice night. I think it'd be a nice night.
And I think, obviously, it's better to win than lose, but coming home with a win, for the first time ever, this team has had for the first time ever, you would win 2 of a 3-game road trip. The Broncos have had 9 3-game road trips in their history. Since the merger, never won more than 1 game in a 3-game road trip. So if you could get 2, it would set a kind of a new mark there. You'd come home feeling great about yourself after beating a 9-3, 9-4 Lions team.
9-4.
And you'd be able to, I think, then look at the next 2 home games and be like, man, if we can win these 2, we've got a chance to do something really special here.
Yeah.
And
confidence.
Right. Whereas if you lose, certainly not everything is out of your reach, but it takes on a different feel of, oh no, now we have to do this. Like
that'll make Sunday a lot more stressful watching those other games.
Yes.
You're like, oh,
yeah, control your own.
Take care of your own business. What did Russ say? Put on those blinders in a horse race.
Right.
You think that's a joke? A horse race? Because Broncos?
I think probably.
I think he did. I think because like post game, he said we're in a horse race. Then kind of paused for a second. And then he kept going. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I see what you did.
See what you did?
I see what you did. Yeah. I liked it.
It's nice.
I like little jokes. When you're winning, it's fun. You can make some of those jokes.
Yeah, you can.
And I like it.
This team, if you were to get this win, you'd feel really confident. You'd put your fate in your own hands. You don't have to worry about these other teams and
take care of your own business.
And Russ said, hey, if we want to get to where we want to go, you've got to play in games like this. There's going to be a lot of people there. There's going to be lights on you. You're going to be on national TV. Get used to it. Embrace it.
Yeah.
Don't run from it.
No.
So I think.
What else would you not do, Eric? Like if you,
that's it.
In this situation, if there was anything, especially with lights, a lot of lights on you, what is one thing you just don't want to do?
I think that's it.
Okay.
I think I mentioned the things that kind of I'm focused on.
Okay, good. You're focused on those things. Okay, good.
That's kind of, you don't want to overdo it.
Yeah.
Don't focus on too much.
No. I think you said everything.
Yes.
Okay,
so, it's a big opportunity.
It is.
I think.
Does it help, Eric? I was going to just jump in there.
Yeah.
Does Russ, being a guy who's been in some of these situations where, hey, you got to win some of these games. I feel like a lot of those Seattle teams, they were wild card teams. So like down the stretch, you're playing really important games. Russ, I think, is a kind of a level-headed, even keeled kind of guy that keeps this team like sort of just focused and nothing's too big, nothing's too small. Just sort of keep them going.
Yeah, I think the Broncos are just a team that they don't beat themselves right now.
Yeah.
And that's
efficient
enough most of the time. You play good, solid, complementary football. There's going to be games, certainly, if you want to go on a run here, where you might have to play a spectacular game. Yeah. To, like, say you play
the Dolphins.
You might need to play spectacularly to get a win.
Yeah.
But I think there are a lot of games on your schedule, as the Broncos have shown during this 6-1 stretch, where just play good football and let the other team kind of make their mistakes.
Yeah.
That's how we saw New England win so many games for so long. And this feels like one where, can the Broncos just down the stretch, can they play that type of football, let things take care of themselves, put themselves in a good position? I think so. And I think you're right. Russ helps with that. Mike McGlinchey helps with that.
Yeah.
Some of these other guys that they've brought in, like DJ Jones has playoff experience.
Yeah.
Zach Allen has played in a playoff game before. Some of these veteran guys, I think you start leaning on them.
Yeah.
And so I think nationally, there's still kind of like a lack of buzz about the Broncos.
Oh, really?
I think maybe there's like, the Broncos are a nice story. They've gone from 1-5 to 7-6, but I don't think anybody views the Broncos, or not anybody, but I don't think many people look at the Broncos as a contender or like have a chance to make some noise in the playoffs. I think if you go to Detroit and you beat a team with 9 wins and do it on prime time, and especially if the defense plays well and kind of limits a really good offense, I think people would start looking at the Broncos and be like, man, we don't want to play these guys in the playoffs.
Yeah. I think that some of that buzz is starting to happen, though, where you see the power rankings. I know you love the power rankings.
Right.
Starting to get some of that respect. I know I've seen a little bit of buzz, circulating around Sean Payton and the job that he's done to turn things around here. And but I agree. Like it's sort of like a nice story more than, hey, this team is like going to be a problem.
Right. Like I don't think they're viewed in the same tier at the moment as like the Ravens, Dolphins.
No. I don't think so.
Chiefs.
I think the fact that those teams have been in the playoffs the last couple of years, they've like won a couple of those games and they've been good. I think that puts them a little bit, in terms of just a perspective, a little bit higher.
Right.
And considering where the Broncos have come from the last several years here.
Well, and you got to show that you can, like you mentioned, continue to stack these and not just get one, lose one.
Stacking is big to me. Chopping wood and stacking them up.
Right. Like, is that loss against the Texans, was that a fluke in this run, or are you coming back down to earth where you're going to win every other game and you're a 500 football team? I think
you don't want to be that.
I think so. This is a big one in terms of setting the tone there. Of if you win this football game, I think people are going to look at you as, man, they maybe that is a contender in the AFC. Maybe this guy's like, they might not be flashy. They might not make the highlight reels the same way like the Niners do or the Dolphins or whatever. But, man, they play good football. They don't beat themselves. They force turnovers. This is a tough team to play.
Yeah. And I think that the offense, Eric, still has room to grow.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe that's why people haven't spoken so highly of the Broncos, just because they're not going out there and putting up a lot of yards, but they're efficient and they play tough. And so, I think that if you minimize the turnovers and you play tough football, you're hard to beat. And And it's not like some of those teams in the past that only can run the football. I do think that this team is capable of adding those wrinkles where they can start to put up yards if necessary.
Right.
You just don't want to do that, I think, if you're the Broncos. You're like, that's not what we are out here hoping to do, but if we need to, we're not doomed if it's that kind of a game.
you can make some chunk plays if needed and kind of
let it rip a little.
Splash plays that are.
You don't want to go out there and try to do that necessarily.
Yeah, I think that it's more of a balanced attack.
Yeah,
but
screen game.
This team to me is like runs the football well, forces turnovers, doesn't turn the ball over. Those are the teams that always kind of like make a surprising little run.
Yeah,
when you get to the playoffs, especially if you play outdoors and things start getting a little chilly. Maybe there's some weather,
a little bit of weather, fog.
Fog, yeah.
Get the root off.
Postal Service.
Yeah, the root off.
But this is the type of game, Phil, that if you want to win a game in the playoffs, if you want to, make a little run, you're going to have to beat teams like this.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a really good, it would give you some confidence maybe going into the dance that, hey, do we have to go on the road to Baltimore? Well, we just went to Detroit and did that.
Yeah.
Or we've been to Buffalo and we beat them.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of similar in my eyes.
And they're still sort of waiting to get in the dance, so this, if you maybe like you're like trying to talk with the bouncer or the door person,
yeah.
And then they're like, can we get in or not? And you're like, look, the Lions. And then they're like, oh yeah, come on in.
Come on in.
Could be like that.
Your ID says like beat the Lions.
Beat the Lions. Yeah. Like, can I see your driver's license? They're like, yeah. See the Lions on there? And they're like, yeah. Come on in.
Yeah. Or maybe like a job application. They're like, can I see your resume?
Oh, yeah. And then they're like,
went to Detroit, won.
Yeah. They're like, ooh, what does this say here? 1 and 5?
Let's bring you to the interview
And they're
stage.
like, no. Look,
that's all the way at the bottom.
Yeah.
Look at the top first.
Yeah. Look at the more recent stuff here.
Yeah. Skills, forcing takeaways.
Oh, yeah. I like that. Do you do the things where you put the 4 stars?
No, I think that's dumb.
Ratings. I
don't like that.
It's a Madden sort of situation. No,
we don't.
No, we don't do that. Okay. Eric, anything else you want to say about this game, or should we get to Baron Browning?
No, let's get to the old Baron.
We did some R work. Went into that locker room and were like, "Bring me Baron."
They did,
and they did, and we got cozied up, and I just drilled him. I turned on the heat lamp. It got a little hot. He's like, "Why is it so hot?" I was like, "Why is it so hot in here?" And I was like, "Just."
Where is it?
If you're honest, you don't have anything to worry. You don't have anything to worry
exactly.
about. Yeah, just
it's like, why are you hooking me up to this lie detector?
Exactly, that's what happened. Yep.
Okay.
And then we went to work.
Yep.
So here's our sit-down conversation with Baron Browning. All right, we're here with Baron Browning inside the Broncos locker room. Baron, we're in the home stretch here of the season. What's the vibe like in the locker room?
I think we got some good momentum coming off our last victory, and really just kind of this last month of November, just kind of going undefeated and going 6-1 in these last few games we played. So I think just trying to continue to build off that and just continue to get better with the games we have left.
Is winning a little contagious? I mean, you guys have just been rattling off a bunch in a row here. What is it, 6-1 in the last 7, like you said? Once you get a little taste of that, you want to keep it going, huh?
Yeah, I feel like, though, the difference this year and maybe the past, like we would probably get a win in the past, but I feel like now it's kind of like going to every game. It's more like everyone believes we're going to win a game before. Yeah, we expect to win, versus going into a game and kind of being like, I don't know how this could go. So I think that's kind of been a big difference and a difference maker for us this year. Just everyone believing and everyone being all in.
Where does that confidence come from?
I think, it starts up top from, our head coach, Coach Payton, with the constant reminders down to the coordinators, down to just the way we practice every day.
How you been feeling about this defense? It seems like every week getting a ton of pressure on quarterbacks, and it's not just coming from guys like you. It's coming from everywhere.
Oh, yeah, I'm feeling good, man. I think we've been doing a good job of just emphasizing certain points to our defense and trying to work on those points in practice and just carrying the way we practice over into the game. And I think that's why we've been playing the way we've been playing.
You ever tell like PJ or Jaquan, like, hey, man, the sacks, that's kind of what I do. Let me get my sacks.
Oh, no, man. As long as everybody balling, we all going to get ours.
Okay, I like that. Looking ahead to the Lions here, what do you see from Jared Goff?
He's been doing a lot of great things for him this year. He's, I feel like the offense run with him. They got a lot of playmakers around him, and I think he's done a good job of getting the ball to the playmakers.
Their 2 running backs are pretty good too, huh?
Oh, yeah, Montgomery and the rookie, Gibbs. when you watch the film, you see the things they can do. So obviously, we want to try to contain them and not let them be explosive for the offense.
What about 3 road games in a row? Is that a thing you guys got to deal with?
I mean,
Like if you just go on the road and just do what you got to do, or you're like, man, another road game?
it is what it is, man. I kind of like the away game sometimes, just because you get to try with your team, just different. Go to a different scenery, a different place, change the scenery, and beat somebody in their home. So and then get on the plane and come back home.
Baron, I just had a couple more for you here. When you're talking about pass rushers, is there anybody around the league that you like to watch tape on, or who are some of your favorite pass rushers?
Currently, or just past?
Anytime, yeah, anytime.
I like to watch a lot of Vaughn stuff. I like to watch a lot of let me think on the spot. Yeah, I like to watch a lot of Vaughn. Sometimes I go back and I watch a lot of like Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis this past off season. It just depends, my go-to usually just during the season is to watch the sacks from each week, and just I'm seeing everybody and just kind of trying to learn and see what I can add to my arsenal.
You pick up some moves from all these different guys?
Yeah, obviously everybody has different things that work for them because everyone has different skill sets. But for me, it's just kind of seeing, okay, how did they set this move up? What was their approach? What was their angle? So just kind of taking more of the smaller kind of critique things from it to add to my own game.
Because I know when you first came into the league, you played a little inside linebacker, then, outside. Are you enjoying the role that you got now, just rushing the quarterback?
Oh, yeah, I do. I love it, and I'm not trying to lead this role.
All right. I appreciate your time. Thanks, Baron.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all.
My thanks to Baron Browning, taking a little bit of time to talk. He doesn't do too many interviews, so this is sort of a
hard guy to get a hold of.
Sort of like an exclusive. Some people call it as an exclusive. You don't want to miss this week's episode of the Neutral Zone.
Baron Browning.
Baron Browning bears all. Eric, what would you say your favorite part of the interview was?
Yeah.
Like your absolute, the most important thing he said.
Yeah.
What would you say? Like, it just maybe be very specific if it's possible.
I'll start this way. I was saddened, shocked even, to see that you took out the whole question about his zodiac sign and kind of how the stars aligning have really helped with his recent play.
The moon. I took that part out. I thought it was a little bit much.
Too much.
I thought it was a little bit too much. Yeah,
It got too much into the schematics and that sort of thing.
Yeah, he was like, hey, I know that you're free to edit this however you want, but I thought it was just like a little bit much there. And I was like, I respect that.
Yeah. No, I think the part about everybody contributing, pressuring the quarterback, that was really, that was good.
That is true.
Yeah.
I did, of course, I asked him, I said, hey, do you ever go to PJ and just say, hey, look, like sacking the quarterback? That's kind of what I do. So why don't you do the safety stuff? And he was like, no, everybody should get
Well, Jonathan Cooper did an interception.
I know, yeah. So you can really do whatever you want out there. That is true.
Especially if you went to North Carolina.
Yes. Do they have anybody out there on the defensive side of the ball who went to North Carolina?
Well,
no, I don't think so.
J-Mac, of course, went to Eastern Carolina.
Yes, that's
which is in North Carolina.
Would they be described as a Tar Heel?
Well, if you're a North Carolina native, I think you're a Tar Heel regardless.
Oh, no matter what.
Yeah.
Oh, no matter what.
It's a Tar Heel state.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. We could ask Ben Swanson, but
no. I don't know who that is.
Nice job. Tried to trick you.
Yeah, exactly. Eric, I think we got voicemail this week, too. We got all kinds of crazy things going on in this episode. So I believe this one is from our good friend Brock without a K.
What's up, Eric? What's up, Phil? Brock without a K, calling from beautiful Los Angeles here at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. The Broncos just beat the Los Angeles Chargers, and they smoked them. I hope Ben is doing okay. I hope he's back in the office. I hope he's bringing the good juju. And I got to sit next to the Wattenberg family, and they were really nice people. So shout out to Luke Wattenberg. Go Broncos.
Thank you very much, Brock. Luke Wattenberg getting next to the Wattenberg family. And, of course, they had to turn to old Luke.
They did, yeah. Washington, right?
Excuse me?
Didn't he go to Washington?
Oh, yes, I believe he went to Washington.
Okay.
That is true, yeah. Good call there.
Yeah, just a shout out to Washington.
Yeah,
maybe
they're in the playoff.
He saw Washington make the playoffs. He said, I want to do that too.
Exactly. He
played well.
We'll all be in the playoffs.
Yeah. Shout out to Luke. Did a nice job.
Yeah.
Filling in for Quinn Miners, who left the game early.
A little scary situation, but doing okay now.
Sounds like Quinn's fine. He says he's set to play this weekend. So
He did leave the game in an ambulance.
yeah,
Eric.
was a siren on?
I believe the siren was on in that situation.
What
yes.
what is a siren? What
It
sound
was
is
a
this?
wee sort of situation. Yeah. And I think he was taken to the hospital at UCLA.
Oh,
And Quinn did his own show. I was like, hey, let's not do
yeah. That's
all
the
these
end
shows.
of the
That's
show.
the end of the show. But he just went ahead and did a shout out to those.
We're very glad that Quinn is okay.
Yes, that is a very scary thing. I think that some people are like, how did he know something was a little bit off? And my answer to that is, hey, these athletes are so in tune with their body. They know exactly what's going on, that if something feels just like not quite right, they know it.
Yeah.
Don't you feel like that?
Yeah. I also think most people, if like your heart started being weird, you'd probably be like, let me just ask what's going on here.
Oh, yeah. But you think you would know if it was just like a little off?
I don't know exactly what he was feeling, so
That is true. I don't want to
hard to
speculate
say.
for his specific situation, but it is amazing.
Or
I
like
feel
if,
like these
if your
athletes
heart's
are-
racing or something, and you're
Yeah,
like, I need to
exactly.
sit down for a minute.
That
I
is
think,
true.
I think
Yeah,
you
you'd be
noticed
like,
that.
something's, I need to go get checked.
But yeah, very glad he's okay. Luke Wattenberg, of course, I believe the second year, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Struggled a little bit at times when he had to pop in there last year. So for him to go in there and play good football, be a part of that 7.5 minute game-ending drive for the Broncos, that was nice. Good for him.
That was nice. Yeah, exactly. So thank you, Brock. You sounded very pumped up there.
Yeah, but he was in the stadium.
Yeah, he was pumped up.
He didn't say hi to me, though. I was down there on the field doing our work.
He didn't say hi, huh? Maybe
No.
just he wanted to respect your.
There were probably
Your
3 or 4
profession.
people as I walked the field saying, Eric, we love the neutral zone.
Yeah.
And they were like,
good.
where's Phil?
I was doing the
Like,
postgame show.
Yeah, he's back in the studio with Nick Ferguson.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Nobody else.
Nobody else. Nick Ferguson is there, though.
That's all
me
you
and
need.
Nick. That's what you. That is really all you need.
All you need.
That's a nice thing. So, and he said something about Juju with Swanson. I don't know what that was.
Yeah, Swanson not here.
No, that's not true. So that is true. That is true, not true. I don't know. Any shout outs, Eric, that you'd like to get to? Any shout outs?
Shout outs.
Yeah. Anybody you want to
Anybody
shout
at all?
out?
Maybe we could shout out Liz Gerald's.
Oh, that is true. The Broncos doing some nice work in the community.
Yeah, doing some,
Holiday
shopping
season,
events.
Yeah,
helping
doing
some,
a lot of different little
some
things.
youth in the community.
Yeah, it's very
Great.
nice. Those who are in need.
Yep.
This is a nice time to give back,
Absolutely.
I think. So, shout out to the community department. Also, shout out to Bar Peyton.
Yeah.
Having a nice little event that's tomorrow. Friday night, Eric, I think. The GMs, the spouses of the GMs in town here.
And coaches,
all
I believe,
and
right?
coaches all getting together and having a nice thing with the Boys and Girls Club.
Holiday huddle.
I believe they call this the Holiday Huddle, Eric.
That's nice.
So,
kind of a
and,
football word.
Yeah, exactly.
Holiday.
Yeah, but it's all sports. So kind of tells you who's in charge here, huh?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. Barb doing a nice job organizing this. So
Yeah, they wanted to call it
shout
the
out.
holiday line shift, but Barb said no.
No. Yeah,
It's the huddle.
Yeah. And what do you think the Nuggets would call it? I don't know.
Holiday
really know.
ejection?
Bounce pass. Oh, that was a cheap shot. I never heard of a one-tech
Holiday-
ejection. Eric, have you ever heard of that? Never heard
I
of
can't
that.
say what Jokic would call it.
No, you couldn't.
Not on this program.
They still got the
Program?
W program. This is a family program.
Yeah. I think, was it Aaron Gordon who said they tried to get him kicked out early to see if they could win without him?
Yeah, that
or
was a
something?
nice little joke. Yeah, because he has missed one game with injury, Eric,
Yep.
and then 2 ejections already this year, and they've won all 3 of those games. So
Kind of hurts his MVP case, doesn't it?
I don't think so. No, it doesn't.
They're undefeated when he doesn't play, and they've lost when he does play. Makes you think.
It doesn't. But
Well,
Nice
if someone
try.
wants to help out Barb,
yeah, I was going to say BGCMD. That, of course, is Boys and Girls Club of Metro Denver. BGCMD.org
.org
/ Holiday Huddle.
holiday huddle. Okay, you can donate.
So you can donate and
I thought
help
Barb was
out
on the
the
local
cause.
news.
She was?
Yeah,
You're watching local news?
I saw a Twitter post, an X,
Oh, an Expos.
doing a nice in studio hit on it.
Really?
So the word's getting out there. I don't know if they have as big a reach as the Neutral Zone, but nice that more people are promoting this.
Yeah, that is nice. Yeah. Get the word out. That's why we do
nice
the
thing that
shout
Barb
outs.
is doing and organizing.
Yes.
So I believe the
anything else?
second annual, I believe, third annual.
I think it's the second. I think. Ben Swanson?
You've got the paper in front of you.
Nope.
Anyway,
I don't know. Yeah, what it is. I don't know. Normally they put that right at the beginning,
Yeah,
right?
our producers.
Second straight year.
Okay.
Second straight year.
Yeah.
Kind of like what I was saying.
That
The
is what you
second
said.
annual. Yeah.
We didn't even say any other year.
No, we didn't. Yeah.
Anybody else you want to shout out, Phil?
I think that's it. Then maybe. Anybody else?
I don't think so.
I think that's it. Hit the community and hit the holiday huddle.
That's what you got to do.
Those two are the important things.
Now you got to go hit the dub.
How about the operations team for this Broncos? Again, 3 straight road games. Huh?
That's right.
It takes a lot of effort to get a whole entire football team and your travel your requirements.
Oh my
you know, the hair product normally, TSA normally shuts that all down.
Yeah.
But when you're on the charter here with the Broncos, there's a weight restriction, but they allow you to bring all your stuff on.
That's right. You're saying that I have a weight problem?
With all the weight of the hair products.
Oh, got it. Okay.
It's and like most people just have like the one suitcase. They're like, hey, this is just a one day trip.
Right.
And you still have the 2 suitcases, one for the hair products and one for your clothes.
Well, then in the room, I need the espresso machine, of course.
Yeah.
I need kind of the light to be just perfect for me to type.
Yeah, of course.
I need
Nothing unreasonable.
I need the wrist massagers after, kind of those weighted. I wear those in the office.
Would you put on a brace or anything like that?
No brace, but during the week I wear weights on the wrists
to strengthen for game day.
Them. Yeah,
just for so much typing.
But then the night before, you gotta kind of do some like
stretches.
like a little mini Theragun type situation.
Oh.
Keep the wrists ready for the stretch.
Yeah, it's
Cold
kind of like
tub,
the
hot tub,
equivalent
cold tub,
of
hot tub.
checking your the weight on your.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They're like,
yeah.
maybe the chassis.
Yeah.
Of your
The word
hand.
of the week, I think.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so like you wouldn't be able to type right.
So there's that.
Put on too much weight there.
You got to make sure. You're good to go.
Yeah.
I will say, Phil, this is kind of odd. The hotel that we stayed at in Los Angeles, lovely place.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
7 stars.
7 stars. Yeah,
like
the one I stayed at. No iron in the room.
Oh, really?
Or ironing board. And I, of course, you like to have a nice shirt from the cleaner.
You're going to be on the
in
post-game
bag.
show. You're doing your report.
But then you want to just freshen it up a little bit right before the game.
True.
No
That's
iron.
A little refresher.
Kind of
really. Maybe it was hidden. Sometimes you got to look around.
It wasn't.
It wasn't hidden.
I looked everywhere.
Huh. Maybe
Unless it was in the mini
such
fridge.
a nice hotel
In the mini fridge.
that they're like, the people who stay here, they would never do something like that themselves.
That's possible. I'm a man of the people, though.
Maybe you call up to the front desk. They'll be like, we'll send someone up immediately. They'll take care of that for you.
Yeah, here's a new shirt.
Sometimes exactly.
We'll send our tailor up right away.
Sometimes you could just hang it up in the bathroom while you shower and get ready and stuff. The steam.
Yeah.
And then that'll kind of
That's what I had
release.
to resort to. But
wow.
not my
The
preference.
struggle.
Yeah.
That's
what people don't know.
You overcame.
What goes into this.
You overcame.
Yeah.
And you would never have known a difference. You know
That's
what I mean?
right.
Like that's
Beautiful,
why you're a professional.
Yeah.
They don't know the hardship that you're dealing with.
I do whatever I possibly can do.
Whatever
to
it
be
takes
ready.
for the organization.
Yep.
Yeah. That's sort of the mindset. Champagne's talked about that. Hey, everybody in the building
Every detail matters.
has to take that step.
No iron.
You
Really,
know.
that detail didn't matter.
Yeah. The pockets where that came up again this week. That
was a callback. I believe our
that was
friend
a
Troy
callback.
Rank
Yeah.
brought that up.
The introductory press conference, the pocket square was tilted up because that's where the team's going.
That's right.
Up.
For part of the season, it was down. Now it's back up.
That was like the back fold.
It got
the back
shifted the
folded.
wrong way.
Exactly.
And then they were like, oh, no. They fixed it. Boom.
Yeah.
6 out of 7.
Makes you think.
It does.
Makes you think. All right. Well, we'll be back on Monday, Eric, to recap this nice. We'll put a nice little bow on whatever happens.
I'm showing up at your house on Sunday morning
Well, of course.
for our little debrief.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then we'll meet with all of our producers.
Call it
and everybody, the
espresso
whole
and
team.
express yourself.
Exactly.
where we-
Some people say espresso and it drives me crazy.
I don't say that.
can't handle that.
Espresso and express yourself.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah, exactly. And we do that every
Every day.
day after a game.
Every day.
And also all the others.
Also the other days.
Yeah. Until that time, Eric, that's going to do it for us. Thank you very much for joining in. Thanks to Baron Browning.
Yes.
And then also thanks to Brock. Keep those voicemails coming. We love that.
Great.
Keep them coming.
Woo.
All right. That's going to do it for us. For Eric Dahl, I am Phil Milani. You've been listening to
The Neutrals.